Now we're hearing audio, so once it kicks in, so.
Are you able to confirm on your
Yep.
phone?
Let me just get it. How's that tilt? Is that good?
Yeah, that's great. Lock them in.
Oh, I get more of it.
Yeah. That'll work like that. That way I'm kind of creeping in from the side.
Careful, you might be live. I don't know.
Yeah, we're live.
Let's assume you are. Let's just.
Just give us a second here, relatives.
Yeah, there you go.
We want to make sure that we've got all our digital tech in order. And if this is actually streaming, then we're very, very happy that we're live and we're able to just chat with you and update you.
Give us a thumbs up.
You
can hear us.
Just quit Facebook, hit it one more time. See what comes up here.
Just hang with us, and it appears that from my end, I can see that people are joining, people are watching. There's more and more joining and watching.
Then you're good.
And but we are trying to confirm it from off site if we're broadcasting, but I'm pretty sure we are.
Yeah, just go for it. If you're seeing people chatting, we're on.
We're seeing the eye view. There's a good chunk of people, and people can watch this later. But please share the stream and like the page wherever you're watching from. We truly appreciate it. We're working more and more to get better at having our channels ready to activate. But my name is Chase Iron Eyes, and I'm going to turn it over to Doris Sam just to give you some updates about Sam Camp.
Good morning. We just wanted to bring an update on what's been happening here. We've been dealing with the securities from 2 weeks ago. They've trying to get aggressive with us, and I've had my son. They tried to back up into him, and we had another individual that we were sitting there, and she almost got sideswiped by the security. Last night we had a white Toyota truck come flying up on us, and came pretty close to me while I stood there holding the staff. And we had a AIM grassroots brother who jumped between the car and myself. Another security came up behind him and led him out of the road, off of the road. So this morning we had another truck come up. Again, I stood in the road, and he came pretty close and went off the road, went around all of the cars that were parked there. So just letting you guys know that they are getting aggressive. They are trying to provoke something. We don't know if they have to be new securities coming in, because we were told that they're going to be having more workers coming in. So just letting everybody know out there what's going on at camp. We have 2 AIM grassroots brothers here. They're doing a really good job, keeping the women safe, protecting us, and we're welcoming any others that are out there that are willing to stand up for us women out here. And like I said, they're getting pretty aggressive.
Yeah, Doris, you just jump in, take over anytime you need to. This is day number 8, and this is, to my knowledge, and maybe I'm hoping that Oak Flat, I know that they're going through their own process, and they've been leading a resistance for a long time. But this teepee that you see behind us represents one of a very, very few assertions of Indigenous Land sovereignty in Indigenous Land Defense action, where elders of the Paiute Shoshone Nation, the Paiute Shoshone people, tribal nation, native nation, all of those terms, they have a consequence. They have meaning in international law. They have meaning in domestic law, the kind of colonial law that the United States is dominating us with right now and asserting themselves. The colonial project of the United States, Canada, Australia, New Zealand has set up a whole system of laws and other institutions to keep us under their thumb. And this action, which is directly in the path of the proposed destruction of one of the most sacred, hallowed grounds to the Paiute Shoshone people, presents a question to the United States of America, to the Congress, to the Senate, to the President's office, to the Department of the Interior, to the judges who know that the Paiute and Shoshone people are on their own country. They are within their own country. They're on their own land, but it's called unceded territory. Where PeeHee Mu'huh is, where the two massacres have taken place here on the actual grounds where we are at, that is set to be destroyed by the Lithium mining company, that is all unceded territory, meaning that the Paiute Shoshone people have not entered a treaty with the United States concerning this territory. It's the same analysis as the Wet'suwet'en and many maybe other indigenous land defense struggles that are seeking to cause an analysis, a change in that relationship between the United States, the colonizer, the colonial oppressive apparatus, the United States and Canada, vis-a-vis or in relation to the indigenous nations who are denied terms like indigenous nationhood. Even if you go to the United Nations and we cite some of that language in terms of free, prior, and informed consent, the international community is still attempting to relegate us to a term known as indigenous peoples. And we consider that a success because it is an improvement on being completely ignored. But indigenous peoples still denies to us our nationhood. And that is a right that is being exercised here by our Paiute and Shoshone relatives. So I'm a lawyer, and I wanted to make that known to the way that I understand it, that our elders here at Oksam Camp, the descendants of one of the survivors of that massacre, and I didn't know who Oksam was. I didn't know who Oksam is. I'd never heard of Oksam. But now I know that the United States and that colonial settler mentality has done its best to silence the truth and to not let the truth be known. And you can see that in the institutions of the United States fighting over critical race theory or what books should be banned in their schools. And there's a cultural war going on right now. And I just, on behalf of our Lakota ceremonial circles and those who are also ready to assert their international identity, their international character, their nationhood, we support them, and we send all of our love and all of our compassion and our solidarity to everybody around Turtle Island and what they want us to think is Mexico, and the United States and Canada. You know, you just come to PeeHee Mu'huh, come to Thacker Pass, and spend the night here. Most people don't come for more than 3, 4, 5 days. And I want to give shout out too to our AIM brothers who showed up and were ready to rough it. It's, you know, to be real, like we don't have a shower out here. We don't have a running indoor toilet. And unless you bring your own bed, you know, that's what it is. We have ways that we're taking care of it very environmentally and bio-conscious ways to take care of our own refuse and to meet our own biological needs. Everybody here is taken care of. But we, you know, the call has gone out for those who are interested, those who are ready, able, and willing. One of the AIM brothers this morning was talking about all of the college students, you know, where I get all kinds of requests for interviews from college students. And those are the ones that I take the most seriously. And I give them importance because these are young people who reached out and said, hey, I'm doing this project or this research assignment for my class or for my final. Could you have a few minutes to spare? You know, the point is that a lot of our young people are going to be taking their summer breaks. And so we want to make sure that, you know, that you're welcome here, that this is how we change our reality. This is why I support what's going on here. And there's a lot of things happening on the ground that are uplifting some of our young people. Some of our young people are learning new skills out here. Some of our young people are becoming conscious in ways that might have been not been available to them. Not everybody gets the benefit of growing up inside of indigenous ceremonial teachings. And right now, that's what's available to us out here. Every time the sun comes up, and for me, this is hot. But Doris is like, this ain't hot, bro. I feel sorry for you when it really does get hot. But I'm from the northern plains, you know, the cold buffalo country, and I feel hot here. But it's okay. And then when the sun goes down, those moments of clarity and of silence and introspection and the unitive experience of recognizing that we are connected, those times, those ceremonies are available here. They're available to you anywhere. But the way that we move on the land here, the relatives who live here, let us know that they're here too. This baby bird nest that was found right, 2 feet from the path of destruction. This land that where the camp is at, this is a big giant cleared road that those who are the destruction company is trying to steal Paiute Shoshone water. And they've tried everything through the court systems and they keep getting shut down. They've tried to reach out to the President of the United States and the Secretary of the Interior, maybe BLM officials. I'm not sure who's all been contacted and tapped and told that, hey, there's flaws in this analysis, in the laws under which they're trying to build this lithium mine. They completely denied the existence of those 2 massacres. And the BLM has since admitted, hey, we left that out. We didn't fully consider the cultural impacts or the impacts to the cultural landscape based on those 2 massacres. There's more than that. There's always something that is being left out. And we for sure want to make sure that not only are they following their own laws and their own systems and protocols, but that they're recognizing our nationhood, our rights to be here on our sacred sites. So anyhow, I'm going to take a little pause because there might be a truck coming up.
I have a question. Can you address, we're kicking it here a little bit. Can you address the difference between the Fort McDermott Tribal Council and that this is ground here
Yeah.
that's really set up by the elders, and just that, Chase, you're familiar with IRA governments and the difference between them, and if you guys could address that a little bit about Fort McDermott.
About Fort McDermott.
Just that the council has agreed to go in partnership with the mine, but this camp is traditional ceremony.
Right. Yeah, just I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Dory Sam. Nidori Sam Amina Nani Fort McDermott Paiute Shoshone Newe Oxam Wikiman. Meaning my name is Dory Sam. I come from the Fort McDermott Paiute Shoshone Indian Reservation. I'm an Oxam descendant, and we just also want people to know that Lithium Americas says that they have the support from the tribe, from the Fort McDermott tribe, but they don't have support from all of the tribe. They have the support from the council members. The council has never notified the tribal members on the decisions that they're making. So Lithium Americas, once again, they lie. L-I. That's what I say. L-I. They're like, yeah, I'm going to use that. So just, just so everybody knows that, no, Lithium Americas doesn't have everybody's support from the Fort McDermott tribe. It's all money, all greed coming from our tribal leaders.
This is when I first heard about Thacker Pass, when I first heard about PeeHee Mu'huh, those are the questions that I was asking myself, and those are the questions that we get. Is that isn't the lithium mine for renewable energy? And we certainly are not against the deployment of renewable technologies. Some have called it green colonialism, greenwashing. Anytime there's quote unquote development, if you notice, who is always forced to live in the sacrifice zone? Who is always forced to drink the poisoned water that comes from energy infrastructure development? Same thing at Standing Rock, No Dapple. Right now, we're sitting right next to the Missouri River without the ability to respond in the event of a catastrophic oil spill. And shout out to the Standing Rock Sioux tribe, the Oglala Sioux tribe, the Cheyenne River Sioux tribe, the Lakota Nation, the Ocheti Shakome, who are maintaining their resistance to corporate extractive intrusion. These are multi-billion-dollar companies that we are standing up against. And a lot of people don't come to that place in their consciousness or in their lack of consciousness, or maybe they're just trying to get by. Maybe they're just trying to feed themselves. The working class people and families in this country and throughout the world, to think and to be able to have the time to develop our spiritual or philosophical or class consciousness. That's a luxury that not everybody has. So I understand, when not everybody can show up. Where I've never been this far out where McDermott is, where Nipple Rock and Sentinel Butte and PeeHee Mu'huh are. We're way out here. We're an hour north of Winnemucca, Nevada. But there's you know, there's that underlying question of the extractive process. Yes, we want people to power their homes with solar power. That requires batteries to store that power. Yes, we want people to be able to use their phones. You know, everything is connected to everyone's phones now. But this project, the Thacker Pass lithium mine, PeeHee Mu'huh, this is an exercise in grotesque consumption. We're not opposed to the electric vehicle, but what is happening is the whole truth about the electric vehicle is not being told. It's not being told that 1.7 billion gallons of water every single year for 40 years is going to be required for these guys to mine this lithium and destroy PeeHee Mu'huh, destroy hallowed ground. Nipple Rock or Sentinel Butte, that is one of these sites that is integral. The Paiute and Shoshone people can't live without this site, but it's in the path of the mine, and the mining company will say, we're going to leave Nipple Rock alone. We're gonna leave Sentinel Butte alone. But if you were here on the ground with us, you would see a 60-foot wide construction swath of disturbed land that goes within a few yards of one of the most sacred sites here on this land at PeeHee Mu'huh, on hallowed ground. There's no mention of the 2 massacres that happened here. The need for the National Register of Historic Places and even global cultural heritage sites to protect this place. There's no mention of those bodies looking at what is right in front of us, what we've been telling those bodies are right in front of us, which are the flesh, blood, and bones, the remains of those people that Ak Sam was with that day in 1865. He escaped. Hanging out with Doris, hanging out with the grandmas, I'm learning a lot, and I'm able to take that all in. This whole, I mean, the mine, besides the 1.7 billion gallons of water, all of the local ranchers, the Taibo ranchers, the white brothers and sisters who are ranching here, who depend on that water, some of them have sold their water rights. We get visitors who come from that community, who live on this land, who come here to support us. But sometimes they don't see the power they have. A lot of people don't know how to stand up to these giant mega corporations that come in and seek to implement eminent domain proceedings, and who really have treacherous intentions. They don't care that they're going to take all of the water. This place will be dry. We're already in a desert, and there's not one recognition. The United States of America, as the quote unquote trustee, is not saying a single time, hey, these tribal nations have inherent water rights. They have legal rights. So that these sorts of camps force the colonial apparatus, the oppressive apparatus, which we call the United States of America or Canada. They force them to contend with the state of the law. We are not outside our rights in being here. It's that there are very violent people who have denied us these rights and who maintain this set of institutions which currently oppress tribal nations. This is It's just the state of reality that we're born into especially on the res. When you grow up on the res, you don't know that there is a system that has captured your potential. That we don't know that we're growing up inside of a forced dependency environment, that we are being economically, politically, and legally terrorized, intentionally and willingly by those who know, but unwittingly and unaware by those who also don't know the systems that are being instigated against us. So for me, that's what's important about PeeHee Mu'huh. This is why I came here at the invite of Doris and the grandmothers who established Sam Camp. But maybe if Doris is willing to share a bit about Sam, and then we can, we're going to update you again later on today. But, we just wanted to come on and test the live feed, make sure it's working. And thank you all for sticking around. Thank you for sharing the stream. If you're just joining us, we are at PeeHee Mu'huh. We are at Sam Camp, and we're joined by one of the descendants, which is Doris Sam. And maybe we can end with Doris talking about Sam, the person.
Yeah. So there's a book out there that was written by Big Bill Haywood, and he talks about Jim Sackett. He talks about the massacre. How one of the guys told Big Bill Hayward how they came in, and they seen the campfire across and across the valley that way, at a place called Rebel Creek, and they came across the valley, and they started shooting at the wiki, the family of my relatives there, and it startled them, so they all come running out of their wiki-ups and they start shooting. And my great grandfather Sam, he goes to the back of his wiki-up, cuts the skin open, goes out the back, and he jumps on a big white horse, and he runs to the north on his horse, and he hides there at a place called Disaster Peak, which is another sacred site to us Paiutes. He hid there for a while, and eventually he came out of hiding to going back to Rebel Creek and telling his story about what had happened, which was pretty much the same way and that the soldier had talked about this massacre before. This was around duck season, like September of 1865, when this massacre happened. Sam was he was a teenager, so he tells about the story almost the same way I told it, but when he talked about it, he had the trembling in his voice, and his eyes were teary, and he talks about how he lost his parents, his grandparents, and his siblings. Years before then, we had another massacre to the west of us, and that massacre happened by the Pit River people, where the men folks went hunting, leaving their family behind, and the Pit River came in, and they cut the people open, cut their stomachs open, take their guts out, and slung them all over the sagebrush. And so when the men folks came back a couple of days later, the rotting smell of the guts all over the sagebrush is what gave this place the name PeeHee Mu'huh, which means rotten moon. And the part where the moon comes in is when the my belief is when the moon is when it was barely coming up, they can see the moon. And so the people, the men folks, they didn't want to be here because of that smell. So we have two massacres here. One we're not too sure of when it happened, and then we have the massacre of 1865. Um, we we have the pit. It's behind us. Behind us is where they're working. Um, every morning we wake up, we can hear them digging, rolling down, just digging. We don't know what they're doing right now. I haven't been back there to see what's going on. Um, there's other people that's been driving around, and in front of us about half a mile, I would say, right by our sacred site. Like Chase mentioned, they opened up the space here, and they're digging. To me, it's like they're trying to stop access from us getting to Sentinel Rock there. Well, it's not gonna happen. We're tough. It's not gonna happen. Um, and the reason why we chose to set up the teepee here is because where it's sitting is in the middle of where they're planning on laying the pipeline. So we're protecting the water. We're protecting the water from going over to that pit where they're digging at. So that's the reason why the teepee is sitting here. We're defending the water. We want our future generations to have that clean water, and of course, we're protecting Mother Earth from being scarred up more. And if we can get more people to come out here and help us, because like I said, they're getting aggressive. And last night it kind of scared me that they came so close, but this morning it just didn't even dawn on me. But this guy just came flying in. He wasn't gonna stop. And when he seen me standing there with that with our with my staff, he just swerved off the road, and he almost got stuck. You can see where he spun out, and he went around the vehicles that are here, and he got away. We can say one got away. I think we're gonna try harder.
We don't know. Doris is right. We don't. That company is called Allied Security, I believe. But just similar to Tiger Swan and the other security and intelligence operations that big extraction can afford, whether it's big oil or big mining. Here, in what is called the United States, they can't just kill us the way that these same companies like these companies, I don't know if Lithium America or like Energy Transfer Partners have actually killed people, but the people that are hired to run their security operations come from actual theaters of conflict in the Middle East. I don't know the extent of their operations, but what I do know is that Evo Morales was overthrown, or there was a coup instigated against Evo Morales, one of the only indigenous presidents in what's called South America, in Bolivia. What I do know is that Berta Cáceres and other indigenous leaders have been assassinated within the last year, 2 years, 3 years, 4. This is ongoing. What I do know is that when I interface with other indigenous nations in other places, that they have a much different environment. They don't speak so openly. They don't. They want to protect themselves and their families, because if those intelligence operations find out that they're interfacing with and trying to raise awareness about the unjust nature of their predicament, just like we are, that they'll be killed. This is this is the struggle that we were born into. I would love to be at my house with my wife and my children. I would love to know peace and be able to just chill. But that peace is denied to me. That peace is denied to every single indigenous person, every single human being that wants and knows they deserve clean water and clean air and a healthy ecosystem. That's why we're here, is because we don't have that peace. We need to take a little break because there might be a truck coming up. We can go ahead and end it, Doris, and then we'll pick up later. Thank you all for tuning in. Really love you and appreciate you. Getting hard to keep.
I was gonna mention
Oh.
Don't know how to turn this off.